Hey guys, Crypto Sunday and a slightly green week. Still sort of up and down week by week, waiting for a bit more significant news, but 4,000 in the green, so can't complain. Not huge amount of news this week, but we'll have a look. So we do seem to be largely just on ETF watch at the moment, and that is sort of the bulk of the news. So Nasdaq, one of the executives has said the BlackRock's first rejection was sort of basically nothing to make a note of. It doesn't mean anything like they're sort of permanently going to be rejected. It was just a part of what is most likely eventual success. So Nasdaq are part of the filing. So once the exchange files, the SEC has 7 business days to reject it if it determines that it doesn't comply with the SEC rules. The rejection at that stage is purely procedural rather than an indication of viability of the product. So 7 business days maybe is a little bit too short, so they punt it back to sort of the next date, and yeah, basically that's sort of all part of the process. Everyone keeps reminding themselves the BlackRock are 575 to 1 for approvals to denials, and people don't sort of mention the one denial was sort of trying to, from what I read, trying to create an active fund without actually reporting what they were in. So that sort of got frowned upon and rejected, basically. If you do a sort of actively managed fund, you have to say what you're investing in. So yeah, not too bad. And other spot ETFs are still pending, as we know. Nasdaq, or actually Nasdaq are involved in the Valkyrie one, while the CBOE are handling proposals from ARK Invest, VanEck, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, and Fidelity. So yeah, and I believe I saw Franklin Templeton have now applied for one, a sort of old school asset management firm, but are jumping on crypto in quite a big way. So that's good. The New York Stock Exchange ARCA is handling Bitwise's ETF, and yeah, the majority of them use Coinbase for the surveillance sharing agreement, so monitoring dodgy activity basically. And then you've also got Grayscale. People are thinking will probably get put through just for the sake of not wanting to be combative and sort of petty, basically. They rejected them for one reason, the courts have said you can't reject them for that, so finding a new reason that you didn't come up with last time and rejecting it just seems, as I say, petty and combative, basically. And they're all getting ETF fever, it seems, at the moment. Nasdaq involved again with Hashdex, the guys that are sort of using a combined futures and spot product. So, sort of buying futures and then turning those into spot in a sort of conversion rather than buying spot off exchanges. So, sort of using the regulated channels basically to get spot on the CME. So it was just sort of a different type of filing that they did with Bitcoin at least. And yeah, people are sort of seeing that as, if you don't like the BlackRock Type 1, then maybe you can go for this. Or the Grayscale, type conversion. It's just sort of, the SEC would have to be rejecting quite a lot of different ways of going about it now, and I think they're just thinking throw enough at the wall and see what sticks. But they've also gone for a mixed Ethereum ETF as well. So you had ARK Invest and 21 shares, I believe, sort of combining again to go for a spot Ethereum ETF. And VanEck, I believe, have also applied for one as well. So sort of kick-starting the ball rolling with Ethereum as well. A load of people have already filed for Ethereum futures on the basis that Bitcoin futures have already been passed. So yeah, you're looking at sort of 25, 30 ETFs in total now, I think, between Ethereum spot, Ethereum futures, and Bitcoin spot. So lots of ETFs to be rejecting if they're going to reject them all. I would think still Ethereum spot ETF is probably a little bit too much to ask for, given the SEC still say Ethereum is a security, I believe. But yeah, this is an interesting one. So there's Ethereum futures on the CME exchange, and yeah, they're saying you could buy Ethereum futures and then convert it into, or they would convert it into spot as a sort of settlement. So we'll see where that goes. So Binance just can't get away from controversy at the moment. The CEO of the US arm has quit. CZ, the overall Binance CEO, is saying the departure was normal and that he's taking a deserved break after a successful stint at the company. I'm not sure you can call it a successful stint if they are sort of largely shutting down operations and getting sued by the SEC, but he has to sort of paint a reasonably good light on it. He's not alone. There have been sort of lots and lots of leaving high level members at Binance US and main Binance, and CZ is just sort of basically saying this is all normal. You do have a bit of turnover of staff sometimes, and we should ignore the FUD around the recent shuffling of execs. So, yeah, he's saying that the US CEO set out to do what he joined 2 years ago. Set out to do what he did when he joined 2 years ago. So, yeah, 2 years as CEO doesn't really seem that long. I think he's painting a positive light on it. But they always get compared to FTX, of course, went bankrupt in 2022. But Binance, I think, are sort of a very different beast. They've been through, multiple bear markets now, and come out sort of relatively unscathed. It seems, even if they could be doing similar to what FTX were doing and have sort of just got away with it, but I think there's less confidence in that. They do seem to make an awful lot of money. They're the largest exchange in the world still by volume. They do an awful lot in futures and sort of leverage and that sort of thing. That makes rather a lot of money. So unless they're doing something really stupid with the underlying crypto behind the scenes, like FTX were doing, then it's just a money printing machine, really. You'd be better off just doing things properly than trying to sort of do anything underhand. Just carry on with that money rolling in. So, yeah, similar to Tether, really. It's best off just sort of staying the course, doing things legally, and letting the money pile in. Let's hope they are doing that. And I've been watching the Ethereum burn for quite a while now, just sort of highlighting how much is sort of getting burnt and issued, and it's not been good over the last week. The sort of burning has really, really slowed down. Not sure whether this is just lack of activity on Ethereum and sort of crypto itself, or if activity is being punted over to the layer 2s, and that means sort of less on Ethereum itself. Not sure if this is sort of an indicator of things to come, or if it is just very quiet period. We haven't really got sort of all that much going on, but yeah, nearly 4,000 Ethereum up from last week. So back to 120, 222, where we were at sort of 120, 213 it got to sort of end of August. We were having quite a nice sort of little burning period. Obviously on the long term it just sort of looks as a huge amount of burning, which I think was the Pepe nonsense and all sorts of stuff, and then it's sort of largely been flat, which is still, as I say, not the worst thing in the world. It's very much different to what it would have been, 345,000 Ethereum. I keep saying it, but yeah, would prefer to see sort of a bit more burning and sort of reducing overall supply rather than just inflating slower. So keep an eye on it, but yeah, at the moment people aren't really using sort of Ethereum itself all that much, it seems. And then whether this leads into the Ethereum Bitcoin pair sort of still being a little bit down, I'm not too sure. It's sort of come down slightly from the sort of 0.063 level that it was at, down to 0.0615-ish again. Sort of the lows that it was at back in June, and it sort of spiked down there very briefly in August on Binance at least. So you never know with wicks like this, but yeah, I sort of mentioned I've been watching this sort of long-term chart for quite a while. This sort of rising wedge idea that Ethereum started sort of back in 2016 as sort of very very low compared to Bitcoin. Sort of gained its popularity and has sort of been in this coiling range. Coming down to the end of sort of a wedge, and the obviously the ultimate goal for the Ethereum people that it becomes much larger than Bitcoin, sort of being just a store of value type token, where Ethereum is sort of touted as all sorts of things, the internet of or the money of the internet, and sort of smart contracts could be getting into all sorts of stuff, finance, property, tokenizing assets and that sort of thing, so that it would overtake Bitcoin. Obviously with the supplying difference, there's 120 million Ethereum to Bitcoin's 21 million, so that wouldn't mean this pair getting to 1. I would have, what would the maths be? So 21 million divided by 120 million, 222 at the moment. So if Ethereum got to 0.175, I believe it would flip Bitcoin, and that would be sort of a bigger market cap. So yeah, whether it could potentially, with a lot greater use, of course, break out of this wedge sort of to the upside and get towards that level, we don't know, but I'm sort of willing to take a little bit of a bet with my I've got 4.6 Bitcoin still. I did make some of that trade down from 5 to 4.6, mainly as a sort of tax reason, but it was a sort of trade that I'd been wanting to make, and yeah, it's sort of could be doing that other 0.6 maybe as we sort of get to a bit more of a low point. Maybe if it gets towards the lower side of this wedge over the next sort of few months. I'm still keeping an eye on it, and we'll see where we go. So coins for the week, a bit of a mixed bag. Bitcoin up 3.3%, Ethereum up 1%. Solana up 3%, not too bad. Chainlink up 2%. Cardano pretty much flat. XRP flat as well. Audius flat. So quite a lot of non-movers this week. Quant down 7%. Not really sort of seen any news on that. We'll have to have a dig. Power Ledger down up 3%. Matic down 0.7, basic attention token up 3.8, Gala down 2.9, they're still not sort of resolved their issues from the looks of it. VeChain up 13%, best performer of the week, but obviously it's languishing right the way down at low levels. Not my smallest position anymore though, that is now Internet Computer, which is down 5.5%. So they're just sort of continually building, but not getting sort of any recognition for it, and people still sort of think it's a scam token. But yeah, we'll have to see where they go. So overall, up for the week, basically just because of Ethereum and a tiny bit of Solana. But yeah, see where we go. We need some news really to sort of break us out of this malaise. But let me know how you guys are doing, if you're buying anything, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and see you soon.